Welcome to Recall. Tell us your fantasy. We'll give you the memory. That's right, we're reviewing Total Recall. I got this from the movie theater when I went to see the movie. A little freebie they were giving away. Plot, this movie, Douglas Quaid, of course, a factory worker, and he has this hot, beautiful wife, and in this case played by Kate Beckinsale, but he's dreaming of he has dreams of another life where he was a secret agent running around with Jessica Biel and wishes he was doing that instead. He goes Total Recall to find that maybe he's thinking that I'll give him some answers. And that's pretty much the plot. When you find out more about the plot, you find out that his other identity, Hauser, has this information in his head about how to get rid of the robotic police. And that's pretty much where in the original movie it was how to make breathable atmosphere on Mars. So I did find it interesting that they changed that a bit. Now, I have seen the original. I've grown up with the original. I love the original. Even though I don't like Arnold Schwarzenegger as a person, as an actor, I do like him. And that being said, of course, the original is much better. But this movie was good in its own way. It was trying to be its own thing. The Total Recall remake had a lot of elements of Blade Runner. The futuristic world was very much like Blade Runner, and it had a lot of elements of the Matrix in it, and perhaps a bit of Inception, of course, Inception and the Matrix borrowed elements from the original Total Recall, so there you go. At the same time, it's saying that it's trying to be more closer to the short story that's based on, rather than remaking the movie, but you're remaking the 1990 movie. Let's be honest here. I mean, this movie has a lot of nods to the original film. You hear a lot of the same lines. If you've seen the original film, you'll hear some of the same lines in the original film in this movie, but at the same time, I mean, the three kitty ladies there, that's in this movie. But at the same time, a lot of things from the original was not in this movie. The comic relief is not there. The comic relief that you get from Arnold Schwarzenegger is not there in Colin Farrell, but also the comic relief in general from the movie is not there. You don't get like this comic relief that you got from a Johnny Cab in the 1990s, where he goes, "Hope you enjoyed the ride!" Boom! Or anything else like that. None of the one-liners are in this movie as much. But it is good in its own way. I mean, I love Kate Beckinsale in this film. She was a much better bitch than Sharon Stone was in the original movie. Damn. Another thing I want to give up props to Kate is Jessica Biel. She did a very good job in her role. Did they ever mention her name in the movie? No, they didn't. I don't think they ever mentioned her. I don't think I ever remember them mentioning the name of Kate Beckinsale's character. It's weird. I mean, in the original movie, her name is Melina, and I'm not. What is her name in this one? Oh, it's still Melina again. Okay, we're just gonna call her Melina. All right, whatever. Yeah, it's Melina, I guess. Because they never really say it in the movie. Anyway, yeah. Bryan Cranston, who's been in everything. What is he going to be? He's in Argo. He's going to be in Argo as well. He was in Rock of Ages. He was in the Madagascar 3, and he's in this movie. Any movie I forgot that Cranston was in this year? Anyway, yeah, he's in this movie as Cohagen. Original movie is Ryan Cox. The guy from Harold Kumar is in this movie. He is the guy that implants Total Recall into the. Is about to implant Total Recall memory into Colin Farrell, Douglas Quaid's head. Okay, Bokeem Woodbine is in the movie as Harry, Douglas Quaid's best friend. Or at least best friend in the implanted life that they give him, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, the movie was very good, better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, the special effects are awesome, and in the remake, instead of going to Mars, you end up going to this very bad part of Earth where the air is not breathable. And the only way you can breathe is by wearing a gas mask like this. I love Light Frame. Taking off this gas mask on. They don't really make the gas, the fact that the air is unbreathable in this part of Earth, that big of a deal. You don't see any scenes where the bad air affects you like you did in Total Recall with the Martian atmosphere. So I found that very interesting. The action is great, but I was like wishing I was wishing I was watching the original at the same time, or I was comparing to the original too much. Obviously, you do that a lot when you go see a remake. 4 remakes that actually outbeat the original or equalize the original. I mean, the remake of Salem's Lot actually was better than the original, in my opinion. The remake of Cape Fear was equal to the original Cape Fear, in my opinion. The remake of The Fly was much better than the original Fly, with Vincent Price in it. Shining. I know many people would say that the Kubrick Shining was much better than the Stephen King miniseries, but I think the Stephen King miniseries was better because I love the book. And I didn't really like the Kubrick movie. Yeah, this movie is great, but of course the remake is the original is much better. I thought it was worth spending my Obama dollars on. If you don't know what that means, there are actually Obama dollars in this movie. That's what that means. And I'm sure any conservative who saw that would hate that. Who cares? Screw you. A lot of special effects were great, but some of the special effects almost felt like a golden necklace around a woman's neck, pretty much. Some of it was glamour, like the glow-in-the-dark tattoos. That was a bit much, I thought. I thought the phone in the hand, that was very cool. And when you put it on glass, you see the person's face there, and you're talking to them. One of the disappointments, and this is going to be a spoiler if you've never seen the original movie, and if you haven't seen this film yet, there's a scene in the movie where, if you know the original movie, you know what I'm talking about, where they tell you that Douglas Quaid or House is actually working with the bad guy Cohagen, and that they're there to kill. Well, in this case, it's Mythos instead of Kuato. Yeah, because in the original it was Kuato. This time it's Mythos. What disappointed me about that scene is that you don't have Colin Farrell as a recording talking as Hauser saying, "Good job helping us find Mythos." So I was like, where's that? That was not in there. Like, why? How come that's not there? Maybe they were trying to show. Maybe what's his face? Cohagen was actually lying about that, and that Hauser was working with him. Maybe, I don't know. In this one, whatever. I do have to say one of my favorite scenes in the movie, of course, is the scene where a guy goes, where Harry, this time instead of a guy from Total Recall, goes in and says this is not real, it's all a delusion. That was a very good scene, and very dialogue driven. I really liked that. I really liked how you saw Kate Beckinsale there in that scene. That was done very well. The disguise that Colin Farrell wears was done very well. I really liked how the scene had a nod to the original when you saw the fat woman, and then you realize he's not wearing a fat woman disguise. He's wearing an entirely different disguise. And that was so cool. I mean, the fat woman still says 2 weeks, but then you realize that there's then you realize the real disguise is the guy right behind her. And that was just so cool. The whole scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger uses something, he puts something in his nose to get out a bug, that is entirely changed, obviously. I mean, as I said before, there's a phone in someone's hand that they're tracking the phone, so he has to cut the phone out instead. It really does tell the story of Total Recall in its own way. If you've never seen the 1990 original movie, you're probably going to love this film a lot. You might give this maybe a 10 out of 10, or maybe a 9.9 or 9.5, something like that. But for me, my rating of this film, and with all the action pack, and I gotta say, Kate Beckinsale does a hell of a lot better bits than Sharon Stone. I have to say this movie gets an 8.5. It really is missing the comic relief that the original film had. You don't really need Arnold Schwarzenegger to have that good comic relief. You need, because a lot of the comic relief was not only coming from Arnold Schwarzenegger, but was coming from outside elements as well, like the robots the robots weren't really all that funny in this movie. I liked it, and so I like the fact that it tells the story of Puerto Rico in its own way. So, yeah, I would recommend going to see it and going to see Puerto Rico. Hope you enjoyed the ride. Get ready for a big surprise. Boom.